Hey, what up? Welcome back to TF2TV. We're here with ETF2L Winter 2023 Loser Semifinals. It is the 44th season of ETF2L. Playoffs will be going through this entire weekend. Tonight we have two games for you. This one, as well as winners finals later. For now, we will be having CSG against TF2, the rematch from last week. Should be exciting stuff here. I'm not alone, of course. JMX with me on production and Dempsey on the mic.
Moin.
All right. We had a turbulent start. In fact, we're still missing a certain player here for reasons unbeknownst to us, although rumors have been floating around why he might not be here yet.
Apparently the rumor is he's racing home, so maybe we'll start soon. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, who could have thought that, if you schedule a game, if a game gets scheduled at 5, you have to be there at 5. Weird how that works, but we're sure to beat the linear passage of time one of these days. And in the meantime, I mean, this should just be a very interesting map. They seem to have figured out how map picks work. I think Condor had some troubles with it, but they got there in the end. Dempsey, what are our maps now, finally, that we have them?
So our maps are Process, Gully, and the decider is Reckoner, after a very tough pick ban.
Yeah, they had some struggles there. They got there in the end. I don't really know how to feel about that. It's not the most out there map pick selection by any means here. I guess Ragnar Late is always interesting. That's more of a contentious map of the likes, like CoF maps, for example, for some teams, where some people just practice a lot more, much better at it than others. Process Gully feels somewhat safe, but certainly still plays into some teams' strengths more than ever. And like I said, these two teams have been very close before the season as well, so I'm very interested to see how this goes.
Yeah, I'm very surprised we ended up with a Reckoner, considering there's no French people in this server, but...
Sometimes, you just gotta embrace your Frenchie and see how it goes. But yeah, like I said, close match between these two rosters in the Week 7 game. None of the maps we see here tonight have been played before, so both teams probably somewhat on purpose avoided rematches on any of those. It was Metalworks and Product at the time. A fairly confident Metalworks from tf2easy, close for a long time here, but ran away with it by the end 3-1. Came ahead on that one, but surprisingly, CSG was able to defeat them on Product. That was including a couple of late switches. Tiger might be a soldier for them this season mainly, but they also have Loopy sniping and then Tiger Scout on Product, clutching it out in the end, barely 3-2 on the CoF maps. tf2easy wants to avoid that. That was a tough battle here, and they don't want to just fall back into that same match again, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting that, both teams picked up a map the last time they played. Hopefully it means we're going to see a nice close game. But who knows? I mean, both teams very strong. TF2Easy maybe slowly have been sliding down the league table season by season, and this could be their season to finally show that they could end up in the finals again.
Yeah, it's exactly like you said, right? Because they were always like one of the top dogs. It's either them or the current Witness rosters. Both have been around. It's been a close battle for sure. Witness coming out on top more often than not, but they've always been really close on their heels here. And even this season, they've been, I think, the ones that had the closest game with them total, despite New Panzer still having strong showing against them, of course, as well. And they just fought against everyone else a little bit more than Witness does on their part, I suppose. So you just got to be able to have that performance against everyone, including CSG, who had a really tough time getting the playoffs, but clutched it in there in the end by one singular point for fans. Turns out losing a map to last place Nadinude was just costing them their playoffs position at the end of the season, despite being incredibly close with all of the top teams the entire season, unable to get that last few points together that CSG just about so managed to get with the win of the one map over TF2easy. But one map won't be enough right now. This is a long bracket still ahead. Double element bracket we are not doing anymore. We're doing the half double element, I guess. If you're starting in third or fourth out of this season, you're already in losers, as we see here tonight. And later down the line, we'll have Witness and New Princess in winners who can afford to lose a game and still make it out on top first place in the end.
It does seem a bit rough, you get third place in Prem, one of the most competitive seasons we've seen in a while, and you get immediately put into the losers bracket.
This season's actually so crazy, I will say. We talked about at the beginning of the season that the season's very strong and incredibly stacked. Mm-hmm. The fact that 4 fans is this close with everyone up top and it's not even making playoffs as well is just ridiculous in its own right here. Everyone had to work so hard to get anywhere. And I guess the underdogs of the Nadinude even were able to get some decent performances out of themselves, despite mostly being in the newcomers, like halfless rosters at the very least each. Tough competition for sure all the way through, and it won't be any different now. Witness Gaming, I think, even more impressively, despite all that, and despite a lot of close encounters, and a match they had to play with a Merc on top of that as well, are able to come out unscathed completely somehow, still able to go with an undefeated record. That is, I think, more impressive this season than it has been at any other time when someone in Prem has reached it in recent memory at the very least. So props to that, but like I said, they could still just lose some maps here and it might be all over.
Yeah, I mean, it's very exciting to have a season where we have so many people making their debut. I know people love to meme on Natty Newt a little bit, but it's very exciting to see a team full of debuts here in Prem.
Oh yeah, for sure. Almost full anyway, but like Faust and Plague I played from before, like at least a one time each, but even then, it's not like a highly veteran roster by any means, and still able to put up a really strong performance for themselves here. Then again, it's not like both of these rosters have just veterans as well. We talked about it earlier as well, right? Fancy, Horns being new faces last season, performing very well, making playoffs, and this season around they're coming out all the better for it as well, once again making playoffs, just barely maybe, but this roster slowly but surely really going places.
Yeah, I mean, Fancy edged out Hans for a debut this season last time around, and of course that's not on the table anymore, but exciting to see how they'll both perform. I think they both have something to prove today. And you want to break down the CSG roster here first, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of them last season so far already. They had, most of them stayed together as well. Condor and Medic, Fancy, of course, on Demoman, like you mentioned, their fairly new acquisition there of all. Tiger, of course, coming to this roster now as well. We all know him. He's a fantastic player in both Soldier or Scout, man. He's just really strong at this game. Horns as well. CR7 himself from Portugal coming down to bring out the performances team needs. On the Scout team, Loopy and Amps, of course, the leader of this roster, bringing this all together here. Loopy, a strong Scout in his own right, has played Prem once or twice before, now coming back after a small break in Premiership level, and still performing strong enough in the product game as well. Also, really strong on Sniper.
And if we take a look at tf2easy, a lot of veteran faces here. I mean, we have Nikki and Moralexi both on Scouts, two goats really of the game at this point. I think they've earned their right in the Hall of Fame. Nubby and Josh both on Soldiers, again, two very big names in Premiership. Nazboy and June rounding out the roster. It's a really solid roster, but ultimately, just because they have a strong roster doesn't mean they'll be able to beat CSG.
Yeah, this has been difficult for them before. Like I said, it was such a rollercoaster of a game on product as well. And while the advantage of playing King of the Hill might not be there for CSG, certainly they know how to handle the matchup here a little bit more now as well. They were down 2-0, still clutched it back 3-2 in the end. If they have the energy, they might be going the distance here. tf2easy won't have an easy time ahead of them, but they never had. They were always, even if just barely the underdog, most seasons they have not been the clear first seed anyway, with Witness around of the likes, and it won't be any different now. They have to, for the first time in a while, claw themselves out of a loser's bracket situation. So it's gonna be a battle here. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, incredibly strong on tf2easy. If they don't have like at least 4 of these people playing together, they don't even want to play the season. And with the new acquisitions, it looks like they have rounded out what they needed really, really nicely for themselves. June, of course, be able to beat tf2easy last season as well. Now joining here to see what they can do, but we only have one team making it out of this game alive into losers finals tomorrow.
Yeah, always exciting to see a process first map. You know, it's so overplayed. It really just comes down to who has the better fundamentals and team fights. And as we go into this first mid, why don't you take it away, Dom?
Let's see how it goes. The Soldiers rolling out. High to count taken for the red team. Nothing too aggressive just yet, both teams filling each other out. This might be a mid where they're rotating sides, and already Fancy over the left, trying to just take space into enemy territory. tf2easy has to rotate with that as well, gives in here, trades position, Nabi stays behind, they seem to be well aware of that, but maybe just one small distraction is all he needs here. Takes a lot of damage, can't get in just yet. It's a really slow mid fight. Horns finally trying to initiate, can't find the entryway though, and they're just getting further and further rotated, and we're just back where we started. Both teams just running circles around each other. No one wants to give anyone an inch just yet. Tiger tries to make space, still shot back early. Both Soldiers' sides really weak, and eventually the Ubers come out on his first mid fight, but Nazboy is completely caught off guard.
Yeah, I mean, but you can't forget tf2easy have their own Uber running back in, and Moralexi and Nikki Uber is going to be so strong if they can catch them. Here it comes across the point. CSG trying to escape into choke, but they're being chased down. Nothing more to be found, but tf2easy might be able to solidify some mid here. Haunts in a bit early maybe, gets caught out, gets caught down. Tiger as well taking the high ground. They're getting slowly pressured out, and Moralexi dies, and that'll be it. They'll most likely back out to second here.
Nicky's still thinking of going through choke, but it looks like they will just give it to them for now. They want to just keep their meta alive. June obviously used in this mid-fight here, but staying alive where Condor didn't is still gonna give them big advantage. This was like twice the mid-fight for one singular result that is just one Mad dying. The Ever Living coming back in here late on tf2easy. CSG just doesn't have the heals in time yet to fight back once all of blue spawns are fully set up again. Long mid-fight here. tf2easy comes out on top. Awkward exchange. Nasboy almost costed his team here in the end though. They're clutching out. Navi was like staying in his choke at the beginning of the fight, and at the end he was in the other choke behind him, picks up the medic. I don't even know how he got this quickly, but CSG wasn't ready for it. Gives tf2easy the chance they need to bring this back a little bit now forward with some momentum. Have the Uber Condor slowly creeping up on 100, but just does not have quite yet. They're trying to throw damage and hold them at base somehow, but tf2easy is just making the progress they want over the map, and even with Josh trade out for Tiger is not going to stop them by the looks of it, taking all the space in the world, and before Condor even has, they cleared the entire second point.
Yeah, Nubby already both on mid and pushing the second, always in the back line, just causing damage. He's in on Condog. Can't really force the Uber, but Nubby showing very strong, just always behind, always drawing eyes, always being a nuisance that CSG has to deal with.
Alright, we'll see how the stalemate goes now as well. I've seen tf2easy struggle on this map stalemate once or twice before in recent memory, so I'm very curious to see what they have in store now, because not like they don't have ideas for this one by any means, but at this level, these holes are just really tough to break sometimes. You have the off classes coming out as well. Sniper and Engineer, a lot of fighting in lobby already. Both teams rushing each other down here a little bit. It's a soldier trade at best. Maybe they can still speak something out of here, but Navi expects the medic on the dispenser, but blind jump will reveal that is not where that medic is. Condor way back with the garden, just making sure that no one even gets close to the man.
Yeah, and we're back out to even stalemate here. Maybe Hans wants to get out, see if he can do anything, but tf2easy looking strong, just taking control of the high ground, not letting anything pass unnoticed. Amethyst on Sniper here, might be able to find something.
Yeah, he peeked once or twice through the shutter door, couldn't find anything just yet. tf2easy won't make it that easy for him to find that kill in the end. No class on tf2easy yet as well. Sometimes they have, after all, the capacity to snipe as well on the roster between their scouts, and also Navi often picking up the rifle, but they want to edge this out the traditional way here, just see if they can slowly but surely just walk people in further and further, take a lot of space, spam down the gun, and before you know it, be all over them. Hard to do on a map that's wide open like this, or like Sunshine for example, but still doable if you play your cards right. For now though, that won't be happening. Tiger on the follow-up after that demo dive gets the bomb on the medic, but 3 people there to cover their backs, and there's no angle for Amps to snipe doing any of this. They're just safely behind that central pillar of the second point. Nothing will happen on them here, but the time is ticking after all, and CSG would still benefit of this going back to mid.
Yeah, I think CSG would be very happy to just sit here for another 3 minutes if they can and force the issue. tf2easy need to find something to do, something that a play they can make, and so far they haven't really found anything, just been bombing into the sentry, and you know, maybe they need to switch something up. I don't know if they want a sniper or they're trying to spam out the gun, but CSG just so good at locking down all these doors.
Yeah, not making it easy at all here. This stalemate's been costing tf2easy, like I said, once or twice already in history. Notably last season, lost a map here for Fence, for example, so it's been a rough one for them. Makes CSG be confident on this map as well. Bomb still coming through, but it is just these single stacks. They're not daring to do more. If it works, it works. You gotta take your chances sometimes, I guess. Gamble a little bit here in Tiger's case. Not gonna succeed just yet. I'm not too hard-pressed about it, I would imagine, though. If it's not gonna be happening, then so be it. Just gotta make sure you hold fort for another 5 seconds here until you have 6 alive again on CSG. It's on tf2easy to find the opening right now. All pressure on them here. There's the bomb coming through, and the medic's not on the dispenser. Condog will forced by both soldiers spamming it at once. I think Josh right on top of him could not dodge anywhere. Just played a bit too uncareful there. Just out of dispenser and well in front of the garden. Soldiers easy time getting to him. And finally, tf2easy have a chance, but you gotta convert these.
Yeah, I'm surprised CSG didn't try and make anything happen. You know, with no soldiers on the side of tf2easy, it would be quite difficult to lock down all the doorways, but they really are not worried here. They just want to sit. It's a minute 30 until the round resets, and CSG feel confident that by using their gun to deny the enemy Uber, they might be able to make something happen as the Uber comes in.
Kept that gun early, heavy in the upper area, somewhat cap time early, lose the scout spot as well, but Navi just jumps right back in there, and everyone else just forced back with the rest of the charge. Really clutch to get this much cap time early during the Uber charge. Hard to contest it against the invincible people when you desperately have to block the point. tf2easy doing it all correct here in the end. Might have taken a while, but playing it smart works out in the long run for them, and that's the lead right there. 1-0 after a long first round, and maybe we'll have a long mid-fight ahead of us again.
Yeah, I mean, last mid-fight, so long, so many rotations around the point, everyone's scared, but CSG taking really early high ground space this time, see if they can make anything happen, but tf2easy just consolidating, moving forward as one big blob over around the point. Both teams just rotating, scared to overextend and feed to death here as they're all just fighting around the high ground, jumping around, nothing really happening just yet. Big spam coming out from the soldiers of both sides. Nubby going for a bomb in, see if anything can happen, has to jump back out. Loopy is trying to secure a kill, but nothing to be found. More Lexi goes down very low, Nubby's in, can't find anything, and that kill might be just what CSG need to convert this.
Oh yeah, look at that. tf2easy does not want to lose anyone else. They know the risk of staying in too long in a losing mid-fight. Don't want to just lose everyone late here. Chase is still on. Tiger will not succeed. I would assume that's the only one they're throwing in here. After all, losing a soldier a little bit too early in Nubby's case cost tf2easy the mid-fight in the end. And you can already just after these first like 7 or so minutes feel the pace of the game. Both teams playing incredibly respectful of one another. They had their respective games this season where they went just all in all the time, but this certainly is not one of them right now. They are well aware of the stakes here. Tiger spawns up again, all players up, full Ubers on each side, and everyone very afraid of giving their opponents even just a single chance, because as you just saw last, if tf2easy, for example, gets rolling, they can convert these very efficiently.
And that's really the beauty, I think, of Process. Everyone in this server surely has hundreds, if not thousands of hours on this map. They all understand how to play it, they all understand how to rotate around. It's like almost a little dance on the mid-fight as they all run around, jump around, searching for that one frag that will bust it all open.
Alright, let's see it. CSG now on the flip side here in slightly more the driver's seat. Mid to second transition might not be as powerful to play into as second into last for the team on second here, but still better after all for the team on mid, so they're the ones taking more chances right now, peeking deep. They're approaching this a lot with the sort of angles you would play around with a sniper here, but North class to be found just yet. Just trying to see if they can walk some space, and Am's taking position forward, Horn spamming some damage through, seeing if they can inch their way in here somehow. Slowly but surely, Am's is making more and more progress, but after all, at some point you will have to pull the trigger to actually get anywhere right now, and they're not quite willing to do that just yet.
And in comes the Tiger Bomb, gets a few rockets June has to use in the end, maybe a bit of an early pop, but the pressure of Tiger bombing in, just too much, and they're just going to chill here on second. They're confident, but an early Uber maybe coming in, Connor using maybe a bit discoordinated as Fancy jumps in a bit slow there, and there's nothing to be found, but they take the point with the Uber.
Alright, there you go, point gets taken. Not the prettiest way having to use yourself here at the end of the day, but it gets the job done, and I mean, one more successful push, they got around again in their back, so progress is all you might need here. Problem is, June gets first, so they won't have an ad push at all. I would be highly surprised if tf2easy leaves this last point with this little advantage, though, out of last of all things as well, setting up the gun, so by all means, I think we're staying here for a little while longer. It's now on CSG to show that maybe they can figure this one out faster than their opponents.
Yeah, interesting to see the different last setups both teams have. Yeehaw now moving the gun forward, moving it a lot more forward here, so will be hard to get any sort of sacks in here with a gun that aggro.
We'll see. Morale also sniping. I guess the man really made his like big first impressions from playing also sniper as well as scout a lot of the time, but slowed down a lot on the class since. Not a big deal here. Has lots of teammates to cover that base as well if it really comes down to it. But for now, he's the one on the rifle for his team, spy checking as well, just to make sure that there is not anything surprising come up. Don't want to fall prey to a spy you just did not see coming here. No surprise factor just yet on CSG. Still trying to just work their way through the lobby, getting an angle much like CSG did before them. And as we've seen, you just need one small moment where the soldiers can peek in just a bit too much. You gotta keep your eyes peeled on these doors at all times.
Yeah, both teams so far opting for just a standard cookie-cutter push. No off-classes really on the offensive side yet. Going to be difficult for CSG to make anything happen with this Morlexi on sniper, so strong, so accurate. You really cannot give him an inch or he'll take a mile and get 2 kills.
We'll see a bit more peeking coming through. Tiger finally wants to commit, but right into an air shot on himself, and the gun just takes him out. And unfortunately, the second bomb was just in a second too late, and the gun covered that one too. Got the timing just a little bit better here. Now we've counter-sacked while 2 are down. Seems fairly harmless enough, I suppose, to just try your luck here. And even if you don't push out of whatever you're getting, just wasting the time having to build another Uber might be worth it in the end. But with the first 2 minutes running down, CSG yet to find success. Spawners back on the server, and at least a second before Derby spawns might just make them throw in another play quickly, but looks like that opportunity is slowly lost on them.
Yeah, I think Tiger goes down early. They're trying to make a push. Ams gets caught out by headshots. That's what I was saying. Give him an inch, he'll take a mile. Now, CSG
but look
backing
at that,
out.
Horns reigniting the avid discussion of the week on TF2V. Should we ban wallbugs? I think we know his answer to the matter here, but I don't know if anything comes of that. Just trying to get his entry into lobby from here or to rollout even does not succeed.
Funny enough, June was the one to spot out Hans hanging up there.
Oh, Tiger
None of the
behind him
scouts
though
looked
from
up.
roller? Oh, close call there. Does not get anything though. Wait a second, backup. Well, how did he get here? And no one noticed at all. They were all looking at the wallbug. Maybe we should ban them.
Maybe we should. It's such a good distraction, eh?
How did you not look at the guy in the air? You can air shot him? No way I'm not shooting that.
Yeah, just look up, idiot. Come on.
Well, a bit too much of that, unfortunately. And somehow, with the Tiger rotation afterwards as well, it just turns all the heads at the wrong time. Luffy gets behind 1-1, and once again, push equals big mistake.
Yeah, I mean, easy to see why teams are so hesitant to push out or try and make anything happen out of last on this map. We go into another mid, another time. Now, tf2easy taking the space early. They catch out AMS nice and early. And CSG stuck on the other side of the map. Nobody's behind, crushing them all. It's going to be a wipe here. Luffy surely going down. Might be able to pick up a kill. Not going to happen.
Well, you were wondering beforehand how's they be performing in the last few seasons with the Market Gardener gun, but it turns out maybe it's just fine actually. Turns out you can kill a lot more people at once with the rocket launcher if you just use a splash weapon. Works pretty. Oh, terrifying second step for the medic. June peeks into last instead of just letting the scout do it. Sniper only hits the volley shot, barely gets away with that one, and they really need this one. They just lost the round, have such a good opportunity at hand now. We've seen a good push from them before, and then a similarly such position now. June with big advantage into last. Uber in from one, chasing down whatever they can. He already capped him this time around. Soldier behind him, trying to get the damage, but Navi just gets melted by AMS on the other side, and Uber only slowly catching up with them. Decent kills out of them as well.
The press piece heavy doing so much damage though. They can't get in on Luffy. He's just revved up.
Oh, the bomb comes in from Josh, but Morale was just busy dealing with AMS, so had to defend his medic there. Gets away with it at least. June will live where AMS fails to get that kill, but it just takes too long in here and can't help Josh melting the heavy where they really needed it. And that turns out just the lack of early cap time hurts them a lot here. They wanted to chase him down for pincer, but the pincer never came. However, that might be fine here. Surprise sniper out of Navi. We talked about his ability to hit these shots, and he sure is ready.
Navi showing, you know, I might have Nikki and more Alexi on my team, but I can snipe too.
Yeah, that's just how it goes, right? If you have these two good scouts as well, maybe on the corp you want to have your soldier off class as well here. It works out quite nicely. Horns with the surprise play. No one's checked the boiler, but there's also a block happening. AMS on second, trying desperately. He has backup too. Do they get that time? June flashes off the point. Who needs this Uber? We are on the cap already. Just end the Uber early. The backup block will not matter in the end. Big plays by the medic.
Yeah, it's rough. Loopy trying to deny everything with the heavy there, but the cons of the heavy, you're not blocking the point on that.
Yeah, just really smart stuff by tf2easy. They had a mistake happen and immediately recover from it. Really clutch by June. And here we go. Let's see how it goes halfway through the map. tf2easy with a close lead, but a lead nonetheless. Let's see how it goes on mid-fight. Last one went pretty well, so maybe some more of that, and they can go some places here. Let's see if CSG can recover though. Try to get the bombs in early, get some initiation going somewhere, but Horns Tiger all shut down early. Josh already on the medic, not giving them any time to even run out again. And desperately looking for a chance to get on the medic, does not find them at all though. Loopy just fighting for survival at this rate, but I think he's just drawing this out to much too much length here, much like the spawn maybe as well. 2 HP behind, gobbles up one more pack, but there's just no way out of here. Navi finds that kill. Yeah, you can see him not in approval as well. Very happy with himself to get that kill here, just not have to worry about anyone behind again. I mean, players behind on a last push almost costed them that fight a second ago, as clutch as it might have been. So all works out in the end. Condor with the classic Lego crits, just trying to see if they can get anything up after this Uber ends. You still have to survive this Uber to begin with.
Yeah, again, Loopy on the brass piece heavy, AMS with the sentry on the other side, so they're going to have to pick one of them to destroy with this Uber. They come in, they're going for the gun, trying to take space on point. A lot of sickies on point. More likely again with the cap time. Both soldiers bomb point, have to jump back off. So much damage. Connor goes down. Crit's not going to come into play here. Josh with a nice little jump.
They're just getting out here
his
though.
head.
They're just taking too much damage. Josh dealing more damage to himself than anyone in this fight. And there we go. Last boy gets stuck as well. Can't get back out. The chase is on. They want this match so badly here. They lost Connacht after all. If they don't get anything here, they're giving June and Gang a second chance. And it looks like it might just come to that. Med on blue here disconnected for a second. It's not as much as that they would like, but it's still advantage nonetheless. And that might just give them a fighting chance to come back at the second point quickly at least. They have the advantage to spare at the moment, so as much as CSG gets nicely out of this one, I don't know for how long.
Do you think we'll end up seeing a dot push at any point this game?
I mean, CSG tried, right? And just Ams got juggled off the Uber and sniped instantly, so they like those options here, but you have to have such a small margin of error, right? If there's something goes wrong on those, it's really bad. You got to be exactly right on your call to go in like that.
CSG is so far back here. They've already got a gun set up on last, so they're really not trying to catch up.
Lose someone's ball.
They do have the gun, and they will have the Uber here to deny last, though, so surely the player advantage will not be much, but tf2easy just taking all the space 5. They're bombing in, taking all this free space, taking up secret. Or Alexi on the point with so much cap time again. Big bomb coming in, they forced Uber.
Beautiful stuff. Yeah, they had people behind them already on left and right, threatened just a lot of position there as well, and I mean, what are you going to do? You can't sit and spawn there forever because they're just going to take space on point. They already forced the NG back. They didn't have a gun anymore. So Medic comes to the spawn to just take up a fight, but at that point, whoops, already the guys behind on top of the Medic, and June long out of there as well. Nicely played by tf2easy, just baiting both into a play on the Medic as well as cap time, and you just can't cover both easily at the same time here. Works well and gives them yet another opportunity to get another round. Gun up, heavy up, works well once before, but we'll see how it goes. Devilman juggles quite a bit, can't take spaces easily. Heavy in the back, still a big nuisance as well. Cap time slowly coming through. Tiger with the block, beautiful rockets out of the soldier. Will still go down, but the destruction on point for CSG is just covering them incredibly well. No one's getting out of this one.
Yeah, June leaving through IT here. They might not know it's happening, but they're chasing so deep into mid for the Nasboy frag, and June's right there.
Oh no, gets caught in crossfire as well. Get that kill on the Nasboy already, and it's just the Vet left standing. June runs for his life, but the rest of the team is not there to help out in time. Loopy finds that kill just barely, and only using one for that one's even better. They got 2 med kill included. This is so much momentum on the side of CSG. They have to take this one to the bank. However, there's one last thing unaccounted for.
Yeah, we'll have to see. When will the shutter open? Peekaboo, what will he see?
There we go, Matt in the choke point. Instantly finds the shot. Dude, now we shot 3 bullets on Sniper this game and they all killed someone.
Well, tf2easy immediately bombing forward, taking all this space back. They want to fight this aggro. They know that the health isn't good on the side of CSG. Haunts, I don't know, man loves his wall bugs, what can you say?
The fact he lived that long is impressive enough, but he will go down in the end. Late deaths on a couple of them. Haunts not up for another 10 seconds or so. June doesn't have in that moment yet, but who knows if that's going to matter. They're building and building and building. They're going to have very shortly anyway. It gives them barely enough time to set up a gun, but tf2easy just on so many attempts now into last. I mean, sure, they've not been succeeding all of them, but they just had so many more chances. They've been in the driver's seat this game so much more than CSG, and I mean, it's already given them a lead. They barely need any more, but the more chances they get, eventually they will succeed again. We've seen them be able to do it.
Yeah, here the Uber comes in, they're already spamming the gun, but they can't find anything. Connor down low, going to get caught out by more Alexi. The gun is still up this whole time though. Nasboy going to start spamming down stickies on it as CSG try to force players back out into lobby, but they have to worry about more Alexi playing the cap here. tf2easy look like they're in a bit of a no man's land here. Big bomb comes in from Hans, catches out more Alexi. Nasboy and June trying to make the great escape, catches out Loopy. Hans so low, hits a lovely rocket onto Nasboy, but they're going to get out with this backhand.
Scout on point. Now a bit of a pain train, not even a scout. That managed just surprising everyone here with the cap time, but will just about work out. Really good stuff by Hans and Tiger. Went like through lobby, both of them rushing them down from behind, really making it difficult for anyone to get back alive in the end. Helps them out tremendously. There's still a block happening on the second point, so they're not giving up at all. Neither team has Uber. tf2easy just tests their lucky a little bit, soldiers trying to take space, but don't get a whole lot in the end. CSG still with good health and a lot of position here, but as much as they don't have yet, June will get first, and it looks like CSG might realize this one in time. Will leave early. They don't want to fall prey to anything here.
Yeah, I think the logic behind that fight, tf2easy, knowing they have the Uber ad, knowing they'll have the Uber here as they come into last already. More Alexi and Nasboy trying to take the space. Uber not popped yet. They're just taking the cap time.
Oh, there's the Uber finally coming out.
out.
Big damage from Nasboy as well. Just nuked them all at once. And the scouts there to clean up. And that's just it. Horns Tiger died so late on second, they're not going to be up in time to do anything about any of this. Took the space where they could. You can't let people like 4 alive on last just sit there while you're all on the second point, twiddling your thumbs, capping the point. You just gotta take the space while it's there, and tf2easy notices quickly to go in while they still can, and at that point, a team that hasn't used yet is already on your point. What are you gonna do about that?
Yeah, Tiger again going for an early bomb this mid, right onto Nazboy. Can he get him? Yes, gets cleaned up by June actually, right immediately. But we'll have to see. TF2Easy want to fight this, even without a demo, so we'll have to see what they can make of it. Trying for a really aggressive play, taking a lot of space, consolidating, trying to send a soldier behind on the side of Josh. Maybe they're going to get caught in here. This looks like a rough position to be caught in.
Yeah, that's it's the awkward situation with enemy side mid sometimes when you rotate like this. The winning side is just off so much better having the opponent stuck on the wrong side of it, but Navi caught here will maybe put them in that spot, finally rotating through a little bit more here. Might just get out barely, one more bomb coming through, but it's just not on the medic. Able to barely sneak out in time. Had to give up one more life, and that's still rough in the end. It might not be big, the match stays alive, but they just don't have soldiers right now, and with that, on even Ubers, they don't have the best capacity to actually fight back on this second point, and we'll have to give it to them. And what didn't look like that much of a winning mid-fight just turns out well enough to take 2 points for the price of 1 on CSG. Lots of opportunity taken here, and as much as there's not much time left, there's certainly enough to still wrap up 2 more rounds and clutch this into overtime.
Yeah, Tiger always... Oh, both soldiers go down here on the face of CSG. Maybe TF2Easy want to see if they can make something happen here. They're trying to take some space. Bombing their soldiers out onto Connor. Nice surf. Nothing to be found of it. Connor going to pick up the pack, but his players are a bit low here. TF2Easy backing out to last. Just setting up. They've got their engineer. They've got more Lexion Sniper. They're happy.
Yeah, they can sit here. I mean, if you clock down 4.5 minutes of 7 minutes left on the clock, that's putting your opponents on such a rough spot. So you are sitting a loss right now. They've had a round loss before by trying to leave. I think they're not going to do it again. Sniper up, gun up, all you need. Spy check even when having the opportunity just now, but I don't know if that's going to matter here. I feel like maybe we'll see another AM Super come through. They're already looking like they're going to do it, but not yet, not like this anyway. Taking the time here a little bit, think this through a little bit more, see what they can get away with. Loopy peeking deep, sees there's any chance to get in deep, but it's not happening just yet.
No, it's very hard to take any space here when you have 2 soldiers locking down the doors, a sentry on the point, and more Lexion snipers so far back. I don't know, I think maybe it's time for CSG to start considering an off-class here, but it looks like they just want to send their soldiers in and try and make something happen.
Oh, there we go. They're just trying to exchange through here. It's a fancy, but instead gets the scout in here late. Try to get the gun in the meantime, but you still need the force, and that's just not happening. June nowhere close to that one. They hoped for the medic to be forward on the dispenser, but they gambled wrong. Blind Uber will not work whatsoever. But this is now a matter of belief. Is TF2Easy going to do anything about it? Oh no, CSG is actually going in round 2 instantly. They're hoping to catch them unaware on awkward position forward, maybe seeing if they peek up to Shutter Door a little bit, but no one's taking the bait. Everyone's still sitting back.
Am's cleaning up both soldiers, so jumping around in the air on Naz. Nazboy, nice fight, gets cleaned up by Haunts though.
Yeah,
very clean fight.
Haunts is so awkward though. Amps and Fancy are not up before both soldiers on blue, and with that they really have such a tiny, like, negligible player ad. It's just a little bit here that they can play off, but you gotta take a chance right now. The gun is still there, getting moved around right now forward to take a better position, but it is down. A little bit of space to take here maybe right now. They gotta actually get the bombs going here at some point. Nabi forced back on the left. Horns immediately taking that space. They're trying to get someone in position to get a bomb on the medic. Matt still in spawn. See what they can do. The bombs are coming through. Captime with that as well, but it looks like TF2Easy is just reacting to everything just in time. Captime is not enough. Scout just dancing around point, but it's not gonna do it in the end. They try to get the similar play we've seen before. Point time with soldier bombs on the medic. Just really make them choose between one or the other, but TF2Easy gets both done in time.
Yeah, and let's not forget, CSG was at full Uber disad holding second, and they managed to convert it into even Ubers holding mid. They are players down here, but they have the Uber to buy time if they need to. Uber trade comes right in for AMS. Nothing really to be found, just a scout trade, but they can back out here and with their new spawns hold the midpoint. Actually, they're going in here.
Yeah, Horns immediately in on that, tries to get on the medic, can't get the shot going. You already got Josh, though, a little bit of damage from the
Connor alone.
Weak. Oh no, and the preemptive one by Navi. No one's allowed to get in on this push late at all. They're just making sure they had everyone accounted for that was already in second, and they just make sure no one else even follows up on that. Beautiful stuff there on the flank.
Look at Fancy. Look at Fancy here. Fancy hiding in the corner on mid. Big bomb going into the skybox, raining down sticks on June. Can't pick it.
June needs the roller too. If that second stick actually connected, it would have been enough, I think. But it just did not hit. Unlucky for the Devilman, and that will cost him as well. It already fumbled the back a little bit there, and now it's just not getting any better. Lose mid, might lose second. They have the Soldier Bombs coming through, hoping to get something out of this one. Horns down early, Tiger in late, but similarly such, stuck just with the medic not inside, behind the shutter door, safe and sound, team protecting them. Nothing happening to June, and they will all move on into last potentially already. Connacht doesn't have yet, and there's just 2 soldiers down.
Yeah, they're coming in, taking all the space 5 again, not contested again. They're just going to start playing the cap time. Uber comes out, chasing the demo into spawn. Can't find anything, but trying to get some cap time down here as Josh is holding down the right shutter. Tiger picks him up, and Hans picks up Nazboy. It's looking slim for tf2easy here. They're going to have to slowly back out here.
Maybe not. Hold up. Wait a second.
Well,
He's still on last. Trades that one out for Tiger. Will maybe just go down, but delays that so long. Actually stays alive. And in the meantime, they're all looking at Nikki. There's just a bomb coming from nobody elsewhere. And if Plan A doesn't work, they have Plan B already ready to go here on tf2easy. Just already prepared for the inevitability. The focus fire might have been a little bit rough on last year, but sure make up for it in the end with now having big advantage once more. 25 back on second, even fancy overextends of it as well. His backup on the scouts is just coming in too late, and they don't even get the kill on the scout. Nicky lives on 5 HP. Tiger bomb onto the medic. Horns in follow-up as well. They need something big. They need something to just swing this battle back around, but they're just grasping at straws right now. No one's allowed to get in. Anti-air on Nicky and Morale, 10k even for one of them. Just not letting anyone get in.
Oh, nobody picks up Loopy, and that's going to be around here likely. Yeah, I mean, it's rough for CSG with less than 3 minutes left in that match. They really just had to try and make something happen, even with Uber Dissad, and they just ended up losing the dry fight.
I mean, for what it's worth, right? The actual attempt earlier to get out and all that worked pretty well, all things considered, just constantly throwing themselves in and not giving them a moment to rest, I suppose. But it looks like tf2easy now earned themselves a moment to rest on the laurels here. Get 4-1 up with 2 minutes left. This is the victory lap right now for map 1. Can't rest too easy just yet. There still is one more map to go if they want to win this match here, and we'll see how that goes for them. But for now, it's a good start to this game.
Ooh, nice rockets out of Hans, you know. Bit for the lags, one more air shot to add on there. Connor leaving, maybe doesn't want to add under death, but staring up into the air for his soldiers, Yeehaw just runs and picks that up.
Alright, well, tf2easy might even get this 2-5-1 end the game a few seconds early. Save themselves a little bit of time later. Well-deserved early break, I suppose, if they get a couple seconds shave off this map here, but CSG still wants to do something funny. Look at that, everyone's perched up at lobby. They want any kill they can get. Nuke gets Josh already, and that's just bust from lobby, get Nicky immediately. And as much as this does not have much impact on this map anymore right now, this is at least still time where you can figure like small strats out at least. Use it as a warm-up opportunity for the next map.
Yeah, at this point, play some sniper, you know, see if you can hit some headshots.
Go spy.
Spy. Alright, I'm on the Connor cam. This is gonna be great, I'm sure. Watching June just run by, goes for a decloak, might goes for rollout instead. Interesting.
What is my man cooking?
We'll never know.
Alright, well, that's it for tf2easy. I mean, close game for like half of this maybe, right? It was like, what, 2-1 at halftime, but at some point, some teams would reach their breaking point, and tf2easy put them there just early enough to wrap this one up, just before the 30-minute mark even. Really, really solid performance here. Had to grind this one out a long way maybe, but as is so often the case with tf2easy, right? There might be a lot of slow moments early on, but they use their time well, they figure things out, and just look all the stronger for the second half of the map.
Yeah, tf2easy definitely playing very disciplined and slow when they need to, but when they have that advantage, they're not afraid to press on the gas pedal and really speed things up.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how they perform here. Just take the time to get started, and just CSG unable to adapt to that same extent here in the end. Mid-fight's largely better, I believe, as well. On the side of tf2easy, as much as there was a few awkward ones there at the end, still looking good, all things considered. Always had an exit strategy as well, and with these like sort of big rotations that we've seen so much these last few mid-fights here, and in general the last few seasons anyway, becoming more popular, you've really got to make sure that you always know your way out of the mid-fight if things go wrong. Enemy side mid-control is good when you're winning, but it's so bad when you're losing, so got to be prepared for everything now.
CSG did have some nice mids. They had some nice little strategies going on. I mean, Tiger was very often fast rolling out onto the enemy pack, and then I think by the 3rd or 4th mid, he does a fast rollout onto Nazboy, who's kind of been acclimatized to him rolling out on the pack and caught off guard by the aggressive rollout. It was overall quite good. I think maybe there was a bit too much over-aggression from CSG when they really didn't have the means for it, but a strong showing that, they show that they have the ability to pick up rounds and push tf2easy back at times, so we'll have to see what happens in the second map.
Yeah, it's going to be a nail-biter here, one way or another, for the rest of this match. Even if we go the whole distance, I guess we'll see of what comes out of this. Up next is Gullywash. Before then, we have a small break for all of the players here. Mind you, map 3, also a Reckoner, if we get the full distance here, been played a couple times this season, of course. And I guess it's just interesting. You said this map certainly been played a lot as well. It's just this like nice little difference here as well, right? In the lower divisions, people don't have process this season. It's just the big boys that earned themselves the right to still play this map this season. They deserve it, I suppose. And it's making a good show of it as well. Maybe for the next few seasons, people can learn some things out of these games on process as well. But yeah, what a hell of a game. And I'm very excited to see more of this. tf2easy, I mean, like you said at the beginning, there's been the doubts here of if they actually been pushed out of the second seed for the season for good this time round. But they're still hanging in there. They're showing what they have, and it's quite good.
If we look over at the logs, we can see June got herself a 2 KD on Medic.
Well, that's
2 kills, 1 death.
Efforts to play Spy as well.
Yeah.
I think this just tells a story, and it's not the story necessarily. I mean, I guess in part as well, because surely Condor died a lot more, right? That's the obvious takeaway here, but it just shows how much more back control they had so much of this game. The long stalemates were always pretty much with tf2easy in control, just making it really difficult for CSG to get anything going, and how are they going to get to the medic? They just didn't really, is the answer in the end.
It was really very obvious, I think, in parts that tf2easy were just a step ahead of CSG in regards to soldier bombs. I mean, whenever CSG wanted to go for a big double soldier sack on June, June was just so far back, hidden away from the rest of her team, nowhere to be found for the soldiers. And I think it shows that tf2easy just know these bombs are coming, let's put our medic back somewhere really far back, where it's just impossible for her to get forced.
Yeah, exactly, and it worked out brilliantly for them here on this map. Like mentioned as well, June being new addition to the roster this season turns out all fitting together quite well. Same with Nikki as well, who had one hell of a game on that department as well, on the scouts. Really, really strong performance. There was the 10k there at one point as well, like I mentioned, for a short moment there. It's like that one life got him like the entire distance between him and Morale's kills there in the end. Not to say that when slouched even, that man didn't die like in all this game for what it's worth. Just always with the medic, and that goes a long distance. If you always have his scout with you, how is your vet gonna die? So it just all makes sense when you put the puzzle pieces together here. Everyone's playing their role incredibly well on tf2easy, and it all works out just fine. And then if you have a sniper like Nubby apparently has been proven this game, and what do you need to worry about when things start falling apart here? Just massive clutch factor on the side of tf2easy. 3 shots, 3 kills, just incredible performance on it. Oh, actually he missed one. He has 60% accuracy. I don't know where that shot went. I only saw the 3 shots happening. Either way, I mean, he basically hit everything he needed to. That's just incredible in its own right.
Yeah, Nazboy really proving that he is still one of the best demos in Europe. He's been really turning it up this season, and I think it's still keeping that performance going into the playoffs.
Yeah, especially this season as well, with the Lock-and Load creeping into the meta a little bit here and there, in basically every division to some extent, I would say. You see it every once in a while now, but him, as well as Fancy for that matter, both sticking to the guns here quite literally, keeping it together with, in his case, the Iron Bomber, I suppose, and just seeing what they can do with that one. Rely on the rollers a lot as well with that, something you can't on the Lock and Load, and have 4 pipes to spam at all times, just a lot more quick fire whenever you need it. Works out brilliant for them, big damage out of the man. I think top damage this game as well. Brilliant stuff, just, classic demo performance. You don't need to top frag as long as you have the damage for the rest of your team, and with 8k damage in this game, really, really putting a show on.
I know we often do predictions for rounds when it comes to these games, but can you give a prediction maybe on the mid-fight, what you think is going to happen, how they're going to play it?
I'd be surprised if we see many enemy mid-fights on this mid, to be honest. It's been kind of traditionally the mid-fight where you often see enemies at mids more than others, I suppose, but I feel like that kind of changed, like slowly but surely, this last few years as well, where you just see so many teams rotating on the big mid-fights now, be it Granary, Process, and Sunshine, anything like that. And not so much here anymore. You have these like underbombs a lot as well, and I think that's what it really comes down to. You already saw the fast bombs out of Tiger, for example, last mid, and them getting the impact they want with the surprise from Spawn Madora is really what has to bring this together. And maybe that's where Horns and Tiger can shine this map like more so than their opponents this time. We'll have to wait and see.
I think Hans has definitely been showing off a bit of tier 6 jumping so far this game, so we'll have to see if he'll be able to hit any big fancy bombs on the mid, but It's funny because usually Gullywash is the map in the lower divisions, especially where the games really just last 10 seconds for the mid fights. Both teams bomb soldiers in immediately as fast as possible. And as you can see from the process already, teams are a bit more hesitant to do that. You know, they don't want to give the enemy team any opportunity to pick up some free kills and turn the tide in their favor. So maybe we'll see some aggressive bombs.
Unlike the previous map, you have a lot more easy opportunity to actually get behind, sort of something like Snackwater allowed for sometimes. You have the ability to just go through drop down. You can go through enemy big door once they've left it and just sneak behind from the backlines. You have some impact that way, and that often just completely turns the tides of the fight as well. And them playing off that ball is really what comes here to make this all put together in the end. If you actually have the timing right on push across or play behind, it's going to be massive for you. So we'll see if that coordination is there for them. tf2easy looked good on that department. CSG a little bit worse maybe, but certainly still have some stuff going with that as well. We'll see who can put it all together. tf2easy won the map up in this best of 3 map scenario here. Now onto our second map, Gullywash coming up next. tf2easy wins this. They're going on to losers finals tomorrow. In any other case, we go to Rekna afterwards.
More Alexi and Loopy both on Spy, checking for off classes onto this mid rollout. Quite interesting, I thought, but we'll have to see. Hans going for a really early bomb, trying to pick up more Alexi, can't find it. Aggression from both teams very early. Big cleans up. CSG at more of a disadvantage after all the fights go on. Josh picks up Loopy on the flank. Oni, Fancy, and Connor trying to make an escape back to their last.
Yeah, like you said, the incredible fast mid fights on this map are not uncommon at all. It's just a smaller one after all. A lot less distance to cover to get in on your opponents, and tf2easy makes that one shown right away. However, with Condor living, it's not quite that free real estate here to take it just yet. Until last, we'll have the supercharge to hang onto for however much it's going to be worthy in the end, but as much as the first damage on the previous map lasted, tf2easy figured it out at the end, so gotta watch your backs here on CSG. Do play fairly aggressively though, they don't want him to have second at all.
Nice rocket from Tiger onto Nasboy, but not enough to get the kill. Hans all the way behind here though. Maybe trying to see if he can pick up a kill on June if they're
aware of that as well?
It doesn't look like it. None of them are looking. Oh, yeehaw. Well, I think they are aware. Sending 2 scouts back for him. Hans going to struggle to get anything here. Gets cleaned up, but at any rate, it's a good delay. Ubers have evened out at this point now. Nasboy just spotting the last, making sure nothing, sneaky's happening.
Just playing some dodgeball with AMs in the meantime. We'll see. There's the play finally starting through. There are 2 players under, trying to get some point pressure going. Wouldn't be surprised if Navi is on pain train here as well. We'll see what comes out of it. Everyone's looking back already. What can the rest of the team do on the front lines as well? Yeah, Nasboy spamming in, has to turn some heads here to get some impact going. So much cap time with this as well, and they still have 1 player on the point here. Navi instantly taken care of. They had all the eyes on that one. They knew there were 2 on point, able to make a play. You can't just look away once the first one dies.
It's a nice little setup from tf2easy. They have Josh spamming off the soldier on the ring to try and let Nikki make anything happen there on the point. Doesn't work out, but it's a good shot. They'll have many more chances here because Gullywash not the easiest last to push out of.
Yeah, on the flip side, like you said, you have these opportunities to just spam in a lot. You have the benefit of having this, 2 entrances that go really deep into the point, be it under point exactly or from river, just peeking in an angle that would not exist like this far deep into the point on any of our last points. So you gotta take the chances here with the plays you have given to you. The spam angles are there, the point play looking threatening already as well, and a little bit more of what we've just seen, and they might just win this without any Uber interaction. And if CSG caves and forces from this cap time, then that's exactly what tf2easy is looking for as well.
Yeah, Tiger picks up the kill on Nasboy here, and now Yeehaw and Nubby both stuck down lower. Nubby gets cleaned up as well. 3 kills on the side of CSG. Maybe they'll be able to push out of Gullywash last with that.
Yeah, they preempted any single play they had going. A really good start. CSG sees what enemies are up to, and looks like tf2easy wants to preempt them this time here. See them coming already and just throw themselves into the back lines. Pressure into the back here. Do lose 1 player with that as well, but Duo Exchange is a little bit rough on them here as well on CSG. Unable to take much space. tf2easy is still standing strong on second, and well, it didn't quite get to last the way maybe intended initially with this one, forcing them all back at once. It certainly just stopped any momentum going forward, and that is still good enough. The game will stay exactly where it's been.
Yeah, I don't know if the intention was really to go all the way to last and cap anything, but more just to drag the Uber for CSG back into the lobby and take all that space. Nubby on the point, Yeehaw on the cap. So much cap time, they're not looking!
And there you go, they always have 1 more ready to go here, and with a little play number 1 distracting, the second one just leaks by unnoticed, and that's just the fun part of Gullywash. You always got to be ready. There's always someone that cannot come in from any single position, basically, other than what you're left when you're holding on last. Any other position, there always is someone.
There's always a second rat in the shadow of the first as we go into another mid-fight. A lot more even. Nubby taking aggro, a lot of aggro space from tf2easy. They actually pick up Loopy and a lot of space. Tiger on the low ground here picks up Josh, might be able to make something happen as Hans bombs in. Tiger follows it up, big damage, big rockets, they clean up everyone. June trying to make an escape as Yeehaw buys some time from distracting on mid.
This is a weird one. That's one I'm curious to actually know the call as well, because if you told me they wanted to go enemy side and just didn't find an opportunity to go up, I would believe you, but at the same time, maybe they did just wanted like a faux enemy side mid, staying in big door for the longest time and just get a couple soldiers and maybe a scout up there as well, trying to just completely deny them any space and take enemy side late. Whatever it was, the actual intention, it doesn't work out, but the second they try to take space, eventually they just get nuked by the soldiers, and that's exactly what you need to see when opponents try to approach your area there, that little corner where they want to walk up. Just can't be free space for them to take at all, and they make this really difficult. Now, CSG takes us all the way to the bank. However, once again, the medics will survive. Still in a good position. We've seen what you can do on this last point. It might not be easy necessarily, but it is still so doable to have all these angles covered at once and on the opposing team here and just go in from all directions at once. Get the pressure going. Let's see if CSG has their setup for this one.
Yeah, and CSG knows that Nikki is all the way behind, so they're trying to make something happen forward, but they're also making sure they keep an eye backwards. They always know where Nikki is. They'll never come out and surprise two-shot their mid. I mean, he's not hiding, but, you know, they're also keeping an eye on him, just staring at each other through the open doorway. Nobody picks up Loopy. Josh trying to pick up Tiger, but he gets out, so they're going to back out to second. Maybe they try and pick up the kill on Nikki here. Big bomb in from Hans. And that's it, cleaned up.
I really wonder what the play was there for Nikki. He's just there, just like waving to Abs with the scattergun 10 times over. Just saying hi, you know. To keep conversation up, I guess, in the game. However, I think the action's now moving to last a little bit. Soldier under, Tiger peeking from River, maybe not quite yet. Fancy also at shutter door, so angles are being covered on the red team. Let's see if they can actually get anything out of this. Looks like that one's getting frauded quickly though. Navi gets the kill immediately onto Horns. That's one down already, and it looks like no one else in really the most keenest position to get play number 2 going without 6 numbers up again, and immediately as well to switch for Spy on Navi just to see if maybe there will be a sniper in the future.
Yeah, I mean, so far we haven't seen a single offensive off-class from anyone trying to push into last. Interesting that both teams are just deciding to go with the cookie-cutter plays, play through lower, try and get some cap time. Have to see what they have in store. What are they cooking? Maybe another double sack into lower, see if they can get some cap time?
Alright, you'll see Pyro up with this as well. They didn't see a sniper spawn. I guess you just expect a lot of spam from the soldiers, and they were right on that part. Morale makes it difficult to get much of any angle going. This gun stays safe. Anything that isn't covering, that boy has sticky down the entire time as well. Loopy under point, trying to get some option going here, but Navi just watching this one perfectly the entire time, not letting much happen. CSG once again, slowly but surely running out of time. There's only so much time you have after all 5 minutes since the rule changes somewhat recently at least. It's gotta get something going sooner or later. We'll see what they have. There's the point play coming through, but Navi is just not letting anything happen. And unlike their opponents, they don't have the 2-man play on point. They just want to have the 1 and distractions from elsewhere.
Yeah, I think it's a bit rough. I mean, the cap point distraction only does so much when the enemy team has a gun set up. Nothing really possible for a Tiger to do there with his bomb. More Alexi on Sniper here, trying to see if he can make anything happen in River, but they're just holding. I think they're pretty keen at this point just to stay on last for another 2 minutes and reset back to a mid-fight. More advantageous than trying to push out of Gullywash last.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially with the barely 1 point lead they have here as well. You don't want to give them any chances. We've seen what happens if they do, I guess. One opportunity, CSG's all over it as well. Switch back to Pyro for Morale as well. North Class is found once again. Not all of the sniping anywhere of CSG or anything like that. In fact, there was more Spy circumstantially with Condor, I guess, last game than anything else. Surprised if we see that right now here as well, but you never know. It's Condor we're talking about.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe go Spy, disguise as yourself, try and make something happen.
Sack your medic.
Play. Sack your medic on Deadringer.
And then they actually, that's the play, and then they push out. Hold up, wait a second, we'll do something here. Alright, we'll see. 1.5 minutes. She's got to get something going here as well. I guess at this point, if you wait a couple seconds longer, at least you have the benefit of the doubt that they won't push out afterwards. It's just going back to mid, regardless of how bad you fail. But one way or another, they're just failing.
Yeah, Loopy and Ham spoke down here. I mean, surely this is the ideal opportunity to sack a soldier out here, but with only a minute left, I think tf2easy saying, nah, we won't bite, we're just going to stay on last, don't take the bait.
Yeah, and ultimately it's just CSG taking the big L right now, just being shown that they're unable to do this one as well. Big boost to
Loopy
TF2Easy's
on
morale.
Pyro.
Right, spy check going on though as well though, so...
Spy check going on, but there's only so much you can do if the Pyro gets on point. They're clearing 6 for him, he's going into lower, taking all the space. They're bringing the Uber with him so he can Uber and get Air Blast off point, but we have a Pyro v Pyro Uber fight on point. This is Premiership.
But we'll see, no one can do anything about it. No, Fancy just gets 2 in the meantime, no one's looking at him at all. And there's the Atlas coming through from the red team, and what are they gonna do?
Time.
Everyone died. Fancy, just huge clutch in this one, able to just get clutch pipes going 2k out of nowhere, while everyone's just standing on point holding hands.
I mean, it's so beautiful. How are you not going to just stare at the Pyro that's Ubered on point?
Alright, quick pause here as well, I think initiated by CSG. Couldn't tell you if there was a disconnect just yet though, no, who knows. Also, Condox after that round said, thank you, New Panzer. So this push was brought to you by Joe Gaming, apparently. Which is, you know, actually, I mean, that's a big stretch to attribute that to anyone this season. That strat has been around for 10 million years.
I mean, a point is a point, but it's looking pretty rough for CSG if they have, you know, almost 4 minutes of attempts trying to push last, and the only way they can make it work is when Fancy picks up 2 kills like that. Good job on Fancy and all that, but it's the kind of thing that tf2easy probably won't let happen twice.
For sure as well. Okay, the unpause happened. The first thing I see in the in-game chat was Nabi saying XD afterwards. So everyone's still in good spirits by the looks of it here, but we're going to round 3 now, 10 minutes into the game. Once again tied up, similar story as last time. CSG able to tie up one more time, but last time at this stage of the game it just slowly crumbled from here. Let's see if tf2easy can do similar things once again. Big damage already by the blue soldiers. Josh doing so much damage at the beginning of this mid fight, and there's the kills coming through.
Josh and Nobi so aggressive on these mids, and they're just so hard to contest when they're both on the point there, just standing. Nobi behind in lobby, not going to be able to make anything happen, but at this point I think tf2easy are pretty content to just sit on mid and, you know, see what they can make happen.
Yeah, like you said, after the previous last push attempts, I feel like they're probably a lot more confident in their inevitability in these game states on stalemates than in their opponents who just really had to luck out a little bit on top of a decent play, I guess. Because it just works so much better for tf2easy instead in the long game right now to just get whatever they wanted eventually. I'm sure that will help a lot in the long term now. However, it's a bit of a different stalemate, of course, and we've seen this map mid to seconds. Not something we've seen tf2easy approach this yet. Really curious to see how they approach this one compared to their opponents. A lot of the time, people do want to get the players behind through Victor here some way, shape, or form. It's the question of what you do once you're there, though, that really makes a difference for these teams.
Nobi just straight in on Connor, can't hit it, picks up so good trade.
Somehow Horns just body blocks, get down Mr. President, but I think Condor was safe back there after the little stuff he had already.
Nobi with the soldier down in all caps in chat, gotta respect it. This is where the pause happened. CSG pretty content to just sit here on second. They're not trying to make anything too big happen, just trying to spam through the choke here.
Oh, you can see what the mind game's happening. Well, Navi went a sniper one too many times, and Horns is spy checking immediately after that trade as well. Get Nicky though, that matters a lot. Tiger in immediately with whatever chance he has, but this guy gets juggled too much, and I don't think this time Fancy will find the miracle pipes to turn this back around, unfortunately. So not much coming to this one here. Nice attempt by Tiger. You gotta be quick on these when there's one player down. You can't just give them the time to react to everything you're doing. Gotta be in on that well out of time.
It does seem like so far CSG's soldier sacks are maybe a bit less.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, 10 HP! It seems so far generally CSG's soldier sacks are a bit less supported than tf2easy. tf2easy trying to make things happen, supporting their soldiers, but when it's CSG's turn, you find it's either Hans or Tiger just bombing in. Uber trade comes out from AMS, running forward, trying to find some frags, but nothing to be seen. Nazboy just going to be locking off the choke here. But they're down 2 soldiers. June trying to drop down, being chased by Tiger. More or less he drops down as well. Big bomb in from Hans, huge damage on all of the combo. June goes down here. Fancy locked
also
in the corner.
Weak on Red though. Fancy already cleaned up as well. It's just AMS with the arrows on point, finally getting some help, but he's just completely surrounded. The rest of the team already out of there. Can't even trade one more out as well. Might have lost June, but the health at the end was really, really bad. Able to clutch out some crucial kills here, and Condor, alive as he is, has to just run back out with whatever little is left of his team. Good ad, sure, but I mean,
Nobody
he's already taking point. I mean,
we see our first offensive spy of the game. Hans is already checking it though, so they will be aware. Hard to see if anything will happen here.
I don't know, I've seen people spy check and not actually do it correctly, so who knows? We'll see. No one's looking for anything for now, at least, but
He might just decloak on point here.
they're running out already. They know they have ad. They want to take the chance. They
Hans is still spy checking in spawn. He could just decloak on point.
What is he spy checking at this point? Oh no, he spy checked the spy and instantly the reaction came as well. I think he just never spy checked anything but sniper for like 10 minutes there, and the last one he did was the just crucial one when the spy already was on point. However, that all happened while Uber came out, and that Uber did surprisingly little for CSG. Find some kills maybe, but if they take the second point without getting to June, this will be really awkward for a longer game here right now. June has now as well, the Uber comes out, Horn's caught in a crossfire, but that's not a good force at all, because everyone's still in with him.
Yeah, they sack so many people in for this Uber, and you know, fuck around, find out. They found out. Uber popped so many picks. They're coming into last, big spam on point. Josh on the ring, just raining down rockets as more Lexi caps. Nobody with the pain train.
Oh no, it's Navi with the steel train coming out of nowhere. Gets that kill, wins the round, double cap time, doesn't even matter there anymore, but you know what? Why waste 0.1 more seconds on this round than you need to get this one wrapped up, get the lead, and this is exactly what we're talking about, right? In these stalemates and these situations, here team2easy's inevitability just looking really good. They try to get the push out going, and team2easy just instantly has the counterplay ready. He gets this all in the way intended, early force on them as well, and the bombs early on this mid-fight too, try to get early damage. They want this pressure on enemy side immediately on the mid-fight. Doesn't quite get the biggest results just yet, but they're much better shaped than last mid-fight, that's for sure here. Damage on the point, the scouts from under doing good damage, but no kills just yet. Navi behind misses a crucial rocket, could have killed one of the scouts, stays alive, but Tiger still traded out in the end. It gives them high ground now on team2easy, where they were lacking at the entire mid-fight. That late damage just crucially gives them position, might just turn this back around, but CSG wants to fight back. They have two scouts from Beam, this Chariot is here, they are not going anywhere, and they have Horns creeping up from behind.
Yeah, Horns coming in, big rocket on June, just gets the Uber to save herself. Big Uber trade comes out, but it's not looking great for CSG. They're backing out. They're going to maybe heal up and try and refight here, but maybe rather just sit on second and play it safe.
Yeah, works out for team2easy in the end. Kept the ground pretty well there. June with clutch reaction time, really, really important on medics as well. It's easy to hold, I think, more than it is to use when it's necessary sometimes, and that's one of those moments for sure that is tested on the medics here. And like I said earlier, oftentimes you see people go behind. The question is what they can do from here. Sometimes it's just this awkward staring contest with players behind where no one really gets an opportunity, but I feel like team2easy is going to be a lot more proactive on that one.
Yeah, and they know Yeehaw's behind. He's opening the shutter to try and spam out a little bit, but they're sending their soldiers behind into river, just keeping an eye. Yeehaw, surely he can't make anything happen from here.
We'll see. It's not completely lonely. Sort of Navi in the back as well after all, so there's always the one extra play there.
Pushing into mid here though, chasing down Josh. They're pushing into mid with double scout, taking all the space, but they might get caught out as the big spam comes in. Am's stuck in a corner here. Eventually goes down as Hans goes down as well on the flank, and CSG look like they need to back out a second here. They might want to trade Uber to try and save some time for themselves, but it's looking rough.
Yeah, well, a bad choice by Ams to go into mid there as well, but with Navi behind, he just got an easy kill for them as well, and now they're still in good numbers here on point. Better Uber for them for sure. Instantly catch the fancy kill after the Uber phase as well. One last-ditch effort for Nuki, doesn't get the kill, and the bomb at the end is not on the medic. Horns wants the easy kill on the soldier close to him, not the clutch one on the medic, and I don't even think that would change much right now. Lay on the shutter door here, trade Tiger for Nat, where that slows things down a little bit, but there's still so little up on last. Gets for some spawns finally, but maybe there's still a chance to be taken here for team2easy. It looks like no, they choose against it. They know they have ad. They want to play around that instead of clutching like a 5v4 fight where they know there's going to be like a heavy or pyro coming up late like we see here right now. Not taking that chance. Take the better one with the Uber instead from their perspective here. Once again, Condor with the late crits. If they survive this Uber, they will have that clutch factor, but that's a big if to get there.
It's going to be so difficult to do anything. I mean, team2easy are just going to use their Uber and take all the space, and without an Uber of your own, you just have to really back out into your own spawn.
Alright, we'll see what it is. Two players under for the red team as well, trying to cover all the bases here as well, but the flash is under point. Get actually still value for the red team. CSG trades one out, but the Uber from over the point finally gets one more. Josh gets Tiger in the meantime.
Laser
it's all
beams.
falling into place. The laser beams come out late, gets two already. Heavy nuke down eventually. The power of the crits is maybe just not quite enough. One Airblast could save the day here, but how are you Airblasting rockets at different intervals? The soldiers not shooting at the same time, and it will just about work here in the end. That crit streak almost saved the day, but almost isn't good enough against TF2Easy.
Yeah, it's so hard to make that crits do anything when you have soldiers flying over your head, scouts running at you. There's just too many people to shoot at and too much damage coming in.
All right,
we go into
3-1
another
lead.
mid.
Yeah, this is going to be a very important one. TF2easy at this point last map ran away with it completely. Let's see if they can do this one more time. June really weak from the get-go here, but it's just not the kill they're looking for. However, with no heals in any good position, CSG just in much better space for the most part, but they're also weak after the attempts on the medics as well. Easy cleanup for the scouts. Bomb on the Demoman Fancy with the nice sticky preemptively, but it's not one player coming in, it's 3 at once. And while he might have one play ready to get the kill there, it's not enough for all of them. The scout's still there at the end, and Condor try as he might, still has to contest with them as well.
I mean, you have to respect the pure confidence and rage from Condog to try and run down June there.
The confidence is one word for that. But yeah, you gotta try sometimes, I guess. I mean, what are they gonna do? Not shoot you and you just kill one instantly, I guess.
Connor on the Uber this time. I think they've maybe decided the crit isn't the play they're looking for, but with a Pyro and a gun, it'll be hard for TF2easy to use their Uber anything but immediately to try and take some of this space.
Yeah, this is just such a crucial round for TF2easy. Yeah, as per usual, we play best of 9 here, so getting 4-1 up is so close to just winning the map already at this 5 win limit. So let's see how they approach this last one here. Get the gun early, try to bait the point time early as well. So much damage on the left doors while no one's allowed to leave the spawn at all. Once again, the Source is swinging for Condor, but it's doing so little. Bomb behind, gets one more trade out for Horns. Tiger on the pointer is stuck in a really bad position, just whittled away at by the Demo Man. And Josh with a nice 2 rocket onto Horns. Fall damage claims in the end, but that matters very little. They're just playing this one with so much patience, and even with the spawn wave coming through as well, I think Josh just has this in the bag.
Yeah, big rockets coming out from Josh there, and I mean, all the soldiers I think played really well. They're very aggressive with their bombs, but TF2easy just, you know, had the Uber advantage and they used it smartly.
Yeah, the major wraps this round up here as well. Best of 9, like I said. So match point, TF2easy, they win this one. They're moving on to losers finals tomorrow, same time as this game, against whoever loses the game later tonight at 9. We'll see if CSG has any last bit of energy in them to bring this one back. But once again, like you said earlier, they back bombs right away. They want to nuke down enemy side as quickly as they can. Not the best results of that. Still trade evenly at the very least, but looks like CSG with better numbers in a much, much better position. Somehow, however, Condor will go down in Nasboy's dying breath. The fall damage will claim the man. And just as things were starting to look good there on the mid fight, denying the early bombs, reality comes crashing down again.
Yeah, and CSG not very healthy on their side here. They're not going to be able to take much second space. So TF2easy looking to pressure them immediately back out of mid here. Nubby bombing in. Tiger going behind on June. June's alone though. Tiger, can't hit that last rocket, but big damage coming out from him.
I mean, we saw in last map's results already June with the 1 death, and I mean, making it continuing to be a nightmare to kill this medic today. Just not happening for CSG. Really, really important for them to always have the heals when they need them. Not giving the opponents any easy advantages at all, and they're just all over the mid point already. It's a bit of a fight back though. CSG, much like last map at this point, in a position where they just have to take chances at this point, as much as it's grasping at straws maybe. Staying in the late, trying to get some kills here. Navi will go down, but not having an Uber yet doesn't make this the most alluring position to play from, so still give up space. TF2easy once again a bit more in the driver's seat as well, and once more, time is in their favor.
And I think, I was about to say, in contrast to last map, TF2easy seem happy to keep pushing forward, but even Uber situations, they bring out Nubby on Sniper. He's got a good look on the big door here. Can't hit the shot on Fancy, but taking big door space with a Sniper will be scary here. Fancy again showing his face, but Nubby hits a nice headshot on Hans as now they take all this space.
Yeah, just people we can't cover the sideline right now. Lots of space to take, like you said. Get deeper and deeper in here, and one way or another, it's just going to be looking better and better for TF2easy as they keep taking the chances. Condor just sees the sniper, pops instantly. Fear in his eyes instantly when he noticed that. Not giving Nubby a chance. That man has hit too many shots today. And
yeah, we've seen it happen in Prem a lot this season with snipers missing a shots but still getting the force, but you have to respect them.
Yeah, instantly gets another one as well. I mean, how do you not pop to that?
Big damage though coming into choke here. Uber comes out, they force the Uber, but again they're all so far forward. Oh, and Fancy with a huge juggle denies that Uber completely.
I mean, denied Uber while it's still free going down is still pretty good for them in the end, even if it's not the biggest momentum swing here as well. However, CSG try to get in here. They're desperate, they need something here, but Amp just gets completely denied by the 2 scouts. A rough look there for the Finnish scout himself, and suddenly it's looking a little bit more roughy. Nubby from the sidelines as well. They're all looking at the combo, but they're not looking at Big Door, and Nubby is punishing for immediately on that one.
Yeah, Josh with a big bomb as well to do some good damage on the combo. Force them out. They're already on last. They're not ready. They're not fast enough.
there you go. They tried to get this as a round 1 winning strat at the beginning of the game, and now it works perfectly. Just a small opening to run in for the last, make the run for it. And this map's small. You can get away with these sort of things if you just react faster to the opening than your opponent can do to you doing it in the first place. So tf2easy finally gets what they wanted here in the end. 5-1, 5-1. Really, really strong performance. Both maps close first halves, but tf2easy just with the download at the end.
Yeah, I mean, CSG played well, but tf2easy just always looked one step ahead, always on these mid-fights, so aggressive with their soldiers, and CSG really never had an answer for it. It looked like they'd figured it out. Josh bombed in, I think, on the third mid, and there was immediately 5 players that counter-jumped him and all collapsed on him, but when you all clump up to kill one soldier, you're just asking to get spammed down and all eat the same damage.
Yeah, in the end, good luck at tf2easy. Like I said, the season's been maybe a little bit rough on their reputation than they would like to admit, but they're still in there. They got the third seed into playoffs. They're continuing to hold the third seed for the time being. Not going to be upset that easily as well, but the matches will keep getting harder from here in the winners brackets. We still have some heavy hitters waiting tomorrow for them, whoever it might be.
June not able to keep up the 2 KD, this time with only a measly 1 KD.
Damn, huge. No, what? Yeah, incredible performance by June. I think. I mean, it's hard to just like talk about and praising medics a lot of times in these games because the best medics can do is just not stand out negatively sometimes. But I think June made a really great counterpoint to standing out positively this entire game and just really holding the team together in a very impressive fashion.
Yeah, even when left alone by her team, June, such nice surfs, always able to escape the bombs from the enemy team. And let's not forget, Nubby and Josh with a huge performance that map, showing why Soldier can be the strongest class on especially a map like Gullywash, where there's so many small doorways and huge skyboxes.
Yeah, make a big impact here. First map's been absolute top damage this time around. So Soldier's taking over Josh and Nubby. I mean, Josh won last point, just won almost by himself. Naspo just on support damage at that point while Josh cleans up every kill. Beautiful stuff there. Nubby with the sniper as well, just to get one more little kill on the logs as well. That might or might not have big impact there at the end. One way or another, strong performances every which way. And despite a couple of good moments here for CSG, it just wasn't quite enough. This roster has come such a long way already, I think, from last season, but just can't hang with the big dogs just yet. They just are such experienced, strong rosters and will continue to perform well here by the looks of it.
How amazing is it for Fancy, Haunts, Loopy all to be in Prem playoffs here? Relatively new to Prem, but showing they really can, do what they need to and play at their best.
I mean, that I guess also goes partly credit to Amps here as well. That man took some chances picking up some newer faces here on his little comeback to last season and put some faith into these guys around him and Condog, I suppose, his trusty former medic from seasons past as well, to put a roster together that actually can perform really, really closely and, in fact, win maps of the likes of tf2easy as well in previous matches as well. It might not have been enough to get more than fourth, but it's this crazy of a season. One of the best ones we had in a long, long time, dare I say as well. So this is going to be still a strong performance here in the end for the CSG roster. tf2easy is the ones that have to worry about the future now. CSG can rest easy. Might be a bit disappointed here, but it's going to be a nice long weekend for them now at least. tf2easy still has at least one more map, if not two, or matches, ahead of them here tonight. At 21, standard match time as per usual for you guys. We have winners final, similarly a rematch from a game just a week ago. Witness Gaming against New Panther. It was a bit of a rollercoaster for the two rosters here last time. It started off a little one-sided for Witness on the one map, but New Panther came back big time, almost did the comeback, unable to clutch it out in the end, but they really put a dent into Witness Gaming, and they can keep that energy going, and if they did their homework here, maybe there's a fighting chance for the comeback and beat the unbeatable Witness Gaming, undefeated this season, still reigning supreme here. Truly the GOATs we have here as well. And I mean, if you come out superior this season as well, you deserve the title of GOATs, I think. And I think without a debate, you might just be the best roster in the world.
Yeah, maybe if New Panzer win their game, Voxy will finally have time to send me those interview questions.
I think once he's a Prem winner, he's going to respond to you. I don't know about that. You're going to need him to lose for that one. We'll see what comes out of it. This is going to be a banger for the rest of the weekend here for sure. This match, the first one for sure, and then tf2easy against the loser of that tomorrow at this same time slot, 5 o'clock roughly, again, to fight out for the grand final spot against whoever will end up losing that match tonight. And I mean, getting the winner's seed and the map pick advantage into grinds will be really, really beneficial as well. The map picks, I think, at this level matter a lot. We've seen people just always cower in fear of the COF maps against Witness, but it's been getting closer and closer. As much as it's been a map that they just cannot lose, apparently, be it Bagel or Product, people have been catching up a little bit, and the results were really close in the past. So we'll see what the map picks bring in that match